Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one we have AP SHACO Jungle. Because it was pointed out to me by the jokers and clown fiends in my Discord that, hey, you've done a lot of these videos now against you will mostly, but you have not done the AP variety. And you know what I said? Based. And that's all I could say because they were forcing me at box point. And essentially we have a Dark Harvest Ignite AP SHACO gameplay. This player, 1,000 games of this champion in Grandmaster / Challenger E West against one of the better known and better Echo players on our server, Echo the Nico. You will recognize that name from many of the Echo videos. And while people typically go AD is a more prototypical form because we want to use that basic attack amplification from our backstab passive, we want to use that empowered basic attack from our Q deceive. What people don't realize is that the second part of that passive, giving amplified stats to our 2-shift poison, that backstab passive on the 2-shift poison, that's all AP, baby. All AP, magic damage, and very, very potent, especially with the 30% extra damage, 30% max HP extra damage threshold. Dark Harvest on your runes on your screen now. Yes, that is correct. And don't forget, Zara GG Live Companion Jungle Guides available for every single jungler. Not for him yet. I will get to him eventually, but almost every other jungler is in the live companion guides. Go ahead, download them, test them, try them, let me know what you think. But for what I think about this game, we are, of course, as I said, against an Echo. We have here a little bit of a back and forth game, from the gold graph at least, that's what it suggests. We have here very stereotypical Raptors red, Krug, SHACO clear. Typically, we on the red side will gank bottom lane, but obviously, Tristana... Obviously, Tristana Blitzcrank is not always the easiest thing to go for, but you know what, a Jace, we can definitely go with that. So remember, we have a hell of a lot of scaling on our box, our E, as well as our ultimate, so you're going to really want to focus on those spells. We're going to max W here. Yes, we get the increased fear duration, but we also get the bonus damage to monsters, which helps you clear faster and rinse a bit better. Now, the Echo's doing the very stereotypical red quadrant into the mid lane gank. The SHACO has said, instead of going for the Jace, I'm going to shadow this because I've seen it. We're going to get that Ignite plus that 2-shift poison. We'll dish out some extra damage below the 30% max HP threshold. Cannon goes in. W thrown by the Echo. Can he get a double root? Yes, he can, but what does it cost? In the words of Thanos, almost everything, to paraphrase, because he didn't die. So we'll take that, and this is very, very good for him, because now basically it slaps us on this side of the map with the ability to heal, get ourselves a bit stronger, and then go to the bottom lane and again try for the backstab passive on our E. And obviously you still get that bonus damage anyway on your basic attacks, right? We're just not amplifying it with AD in our build, but it will definitely still do work. The spell-based nature of it is, I kind of prefer it, but at the same time, at least for me, it's a bit more against it. It's a bit easier to kind of see where the damage is coming from versus when he just does the standard AD crit, Duskblade, whatever, and you just you just get extinguished. You're like, well, there we go. I much prefer this playstyle, to be honest. If I were to play this champion, if I were, and to main it and spam it, I would most likely do what V9 Fenrir 2K has done, which is obviously spam the same build and same rune set almost every game for 1,000 games. I do enjoy my spamming. Now, at this particular moment, we're just going to make sure we secure this bottom scuttle. Blue, Grump, take the scuttle, move on to the back top side. We see the Echo here walking across his low HP. That's kind of risky, which means he stayed out 28, full clear plus crab. The Olaf sees this, but does he care? Let's have a look here. Yeah, he does actually in the end care. I've seen Olaf's be a little bit more berserk Viking rage mode, but use your Q deceive to go over walls just like as I said, he doesn't care. Well, I mean, he did. He respected it, and then the Echo and the Jace didn't respect it, so our top lane is going to coin flip and win that. But as I said, we will have a nice little back and forth, a good throw, the people's throw once more, which I can educate you on as well. What are we great at, though? He keeps running away, so he's getting that extra slow as well. Very, very nice. Repeat ganks are where we want to thrive. Repeat ganks are always going to be juicy and fresh, and the way Gollum likes it. See the backing here? You see how we back in this spot here? This is something that high elo junglers do frequently, and most of you don't. You end up walking up here and walking back here and walking to some random place to back. If you're going to back, just back, especially around the nooks and crannies of the map where they can't see you. So pay attention to fog of war gaps. Very strong when you want to go back to base. You save yourself 8 to 10 seconds, which means now, for example, that could be the difference between rotating to a dragon fight, bottom lane gank, or just holding a full-on wave and getting that full juiced experience, right? That's exactly what we want. So we already have 3 points in that W, and of course that scales from 0.5 to 1.5 fear, which means we're at 1 second fear. Hopefully you can find your way. I'll leave it up there. You can see that now, and obviously we get bonus damage to monsters already. So 3 points into one ability does happen pretty quickly. We are not too concerned though about the nature of our bottom lane, which is good because you'd always think that in a SHACO game that we're going to be looking at bot lane camping, especially in this meta, but Echo the Nico does like his Nash's Tooth. Echo does like to quadrant sequence quite well and then really scale into that mid and the late game very nicely. And as you would have seen, we discussed it a little bit, and there's a really good Echo comment on the Echo video I just put out talking about the pros and cons of Nash's and Lichbane. He's dead, but in the case that he's not dead, you were there to get the kill. Thumbs up. Now, the most important part about this is tracking and timing. Okay, so we held this, we moved up, we take this, we're going for this gank here. We know the Echo obviously started bottom side quadrant, so upon reset, we'll be doing this and doing this. We see in bottom lane here, we know then that these camps will be up. These camps have spawned delayed, purely because of the fact that we all met mid lane for a fiesta. And, ooh. See, this is the kind of stuff that I like that works in solo queue that people don't do. The cheese. The cheese, my friends. We are 6 now as well, and Ignite is available. Poor Yace. And equal and opposite from the Echo. Try and get all of this. The knockout flash into hook. Beautifully done, my good sir. And now the Jace shows up here. He doesn't quite hit the box. He's gap closed. And did you all see the exquisite Jace buffer on the Ezreal in Pro Play at Worlds the other day? No, yesterday, actually. Yeah. Side note, just kind of caught my eye there. But yeah, he repositions. Jace is kind of not as easy as you think. You know, you think, oh, like Vayne top lane, easy gank. Yeah, okay, true. Jace is a little bit more of a handful. Kai'Sa's very strong, though. They buffed her passive, and, you know, she's very strong anyway. Didn't need the buff at all. Great for AP, but she's strong as it is. I think it's like a 30%. I hit the mic, I apologize. A 30% pick rate at the moment. Really, really strong. So we're not really having the highly cheesy snowbally perma gank each lane factor, which I think is nice because it's nice to see what we do in these particular scenarios. Q Deceive comes and we reveal, can we get a range for the 2-shift poison? We can. We stack the Dark Harvest, based stackage. Can we dodge the chains? We do dodge the chains. We have Ionian Boots of Lucidity already. We're going to deceive them over the wall. Ha ha ha. Clown business on our way. Early boots for junglers, whether you're doing Sorks as an AP jungler, Ionian Boots on any other jungler, huge. Not just because of the rotation of your spells, but because movement speed. Movement speed is huge. It allows you, especially in the early game when other junglers and players don't have them upgraded, to outplay them, to escape them, to force them to rotate and, you know, chase them down, really, essentially. Right, we're going to slap that box down there. He's going to move on up straight here. This control doing a lot of work. Really, look, I'll be honest with you. It's all very easy for me to say high and mighty words like, hey, always check the bush. Control words, always check the bush. Fade away. But, you know, you should always check the bush, and I'll be honest with you. In my game yesterday, there was a ward here, and I skipped it 3 or 4 times, just focusing so intently on the game. And the Echo here just walks by it. So always check these bushes as much as you can. Good discipline. Right. We have the Lulu out of position. 2-shift poison. Snacking. Very good. Another stack of the harvest. We are at 4 stacks now as well. It's so easy, isn't it? When you just position well and they keep running the other direction. It's like he does more damage when you attack from behind, and then they let you attack from behind. So embrace it, enjoy it, thrive on it. We obviously lose this, which means we should go and snack a Dragon. Always equal and opposite as much as possible. Use the clone ultimate to snack that and tank that. Tristana's getting plates. This is pretty run-of-the-mill jungling at this point. Not too exciting, to be honest with you. But that's fine. We will get our kills. We will get our assists. We will have the highest KP. I think sometimes it's nice to watch games. I know you all love the clicks of, hey, look, the snowball, this guy's 1v9. But I think a lot of you on this channel specifically enjoy watching things that are a bit more tense, a bit more intelligent, because this will probably represent more of your games. You know, you're not a challenger jungler smurfing in gold and diamond and just turbo stomping every single game. Sometimes the games are equal, and you just have to play with respect to the enemy jungler who is just as good as you are, you know. Hopefully not. You are better because you watch these, but level 8, 76 to 64 CS, that's a good tempo now. The W definitely helps there. We're going to hit that to let them know that we see them doing this. Over the wall, box placed, doesn't quite get feared. We're scanning now. We have the Echo counter gank here. Obviously, we know he's in the area, so you do have to pay attention to that. Drag him into the box. No, we're going to deceive over the wall to reposition ourselves, put a box in that one. Echo, don't walk into it. He does. Cannon says, hello. I say hi. 2 shift poison below. Yeah, and then there is your less than 30% HP extra damage. And there's your explosion of the clone into 3 boxes and a dead Silas. So now we are rolling. This is what we wanted. This is exactly what you want in these kinds of games. If you're snowballing jungle, the best thing you can do, even in a lower KP game where you're struggling to find like absolute free kills, do your best. Oh, this is actually concerning because now I'm seeing a lot of things that are very similar to how I would play Zyra in terms of like counter jungling over walls and fadeaways with blues and things like that. Anyway, you still have to pay attention to the fact that in those games where you're not able to snowball righteously and freely, as long as you are equal and oppositing the enemy jungler, suppressing them to some degree where your laners are just doing laner things. Like you can coin flip it in either direction, but the enemy jungler is not the reason that those lanes are winning or losing. That's the most important thing. And then as long as you get that objective and sharp and make those good plays like you did mechanically, you're always going to have to do that. Huge. Now remember, while the E is not on cooldown, your basic attacks do the slowing as well. So you got like a built-in Shriller's Grudge a little bit. Q deceive over the wall. Box does not land because Silas is a good and fair champion. Enjoyable. Yes, totally. Don't hate facing that thing at the moment, even though it was nerfed. We're going to scan and clear that because how dare you place wards in my jungle. After these kills, always counter jungle, look for good angles of approach. And then once there's nothing, fall back to your camps here. Echo roaming with the Lulu. We have a lot in the pocket though. We got 3,000 gold. A little bit of goblin behavior at the moment. But goblin behavior is okay if you know that you can handle the business. Now at this particular point in time, I don't think it's worth training for tier 2. I probably would not be farming. I'd be dealing with that, but at this point, the damage is done, so we might as well go do some more damage. Yeah, no, I think it's great to have all the stacks in the world in your Dark Seal. It's great to have had a really nice second phase of the early game, but let's go back to base and cement that gold, or that lead will not be realized. Now we're going to lose this RNG Scuttlers at the bottom side as well. So upon getting back to base, we will have red spawning, Krug spawning, Raptors we just secured, so our quadrant clearing is a little out of sequence. That's why I kind of like the back there, because if you back there, you can kind of hold bottom lane maybe, or at the very least, that's all done. Head to the top side, you got a whole quadrant to secure, and then you can go into the mid lane with significantly more damage, and maybe we do get a kill from that. Right. Echo, not quite on the rocket belt yet. We're going to go ahead and snack this red buff here. Again, fade away. And here we have the mid lane being attacked by the bottom lane. We're going to place that box so that they can't escape. We're going to use our ult here, which again, all magic damage, magic scaling have the same properties, but like double or tripled that of a Jack-in-the-Box. And, you know, the Lulu ult and exhaust don't really matter. Remember, keep attacking. Keep basic attacking, right? Like, it's the biggest thing about mages as well as people don't use their auto attacks. I mean, even though you're not building AD and you don't do a lot, still auto attack. And the clone, look at the damage and the explosion that it has on the Echo's face. Pushing that in. Nice little counter gank here. I love this. And enemy bot lane will always frequently overcommit once they start moving the chess pieces around. Little box in the box in a bush to make sure that we can have some sort of vision control that do last for quite a while, and that's doubled on the ultimate, not tripled. And the Shyvana. Tristana's going in. They do sound kind of the same. Come on, walk into the box. Q deceive over the wall. You walk into the box. 2 shift poison. They know it's there, I think. You know, this kind of, the suspicion of high elo's like, yeah, AP SHACO, I know there's a box somewhere. Tristana now leapfrogging away. Kai'Sa's back in the mid lane. Lulu won't have her ult now, and they don't have exhaust, so we can just position him. Our ult is available again. We're at like, what, 58-second cooldown? Q in, box placed. Doesn't get triggered. Does on the minions. Does actually get triggered by the... Lulu will chuck 2 shiv down into her pixie hat. Nothing happens from there, but that's fine. Ah, Salos. Yeah, he saw us. Box and bush. Lulu. Q over the wall, deceive. 2 shiv, we get to slow. Don't know if we needed to smite though. I don't think he was always going to turn on that. A little bit risky. This is fine. This is fine. I know it's not always the most exciting. Ah, the box hits into the hook, into the silence, into the ultimate. Boom, baby. That's not the right one. Nice try, Silas. Well played, SHACO. Mind games, baby. Mind games. Box placement is really just more advanced Maokai stuff, essentially. I mean, I play Maokai, so I can say that. Fear onto the... Whoa, the Jace damage. Dude has clips completed. He's stacking his Mana Moon. He's got the Iranian boots. Let's try and be very cautious here. Q will be up in a second. Now it's available. We can go to the Grump here. The box hits. The boxes can just do so much damage, so much work with this build. We have Leandri's completed 10 stacks on the Dark Seal. That's already almost 1,000 damage on that on that Leandri's extra damage. Olaf has rotated down to deal with this. We do have a dragon available. We are now looking to be, we want to be very cautious here over the wall. 2-shift poison in the back of Jace's, well, back. The mobility, man. It's, hopefully you can kind of see, like, it's not the highest paced game, but hopefully you can see the positioning, the mind games, how he's consistently flanking the edge of fights, entry points, using bushes, using boxes, using that Q to C very, very well, using that ultimate. Look at that nice fear, places the box here in case they try to chase. Echo's forced to ult out. We're going to Q deceive again to see if we can maybe see him. We do have smite available. We will have a box up shortly. Remember, using a box and your ultimate does not break camo. So you can actually go ahead and do that in the meantime. We're going to a nice little blink. Try and get him into this bush. The slow again. Axe hits. Flash burned. Smite used. Come on, Olaf. Hit the Axe of Destiny. Nope. All right, let's go do the dragon. But hopefully you can see, like, it's much different in that sense. You know, you're not always looking to just straight up assassinate people. That's great, but it's really providing so much strong map control and zoning, and so many zoning tools. In and out of fights, in and out of fights. You know, counter jungling over walls. Makes it very, very difficult for anyone to sort of roam around the map. They have to always consistently be thinking about, is there a box here? Is there a Shaker here who's going to activate his clone and then fear me for 300 years and burn me down with magic damage? All of these things add up to something very, very frustrating to face. And I always, an AD Shaco, as Zyra, for example, eventually I know that if I see where that dude is coming from, if I see him at all and he runs at me, even if he tries to kill me, with Zhonya's available and enough AP, I'm very comfortable just absolutely rinsing and one-shotting the guy. And I don't have as much fear over the boxes and the ultimate. But an AP Shaco can be so damn frustrating just because of those two things. Just the boxes alone. Obviously, the added damage from the 2-shift poison is huge to note, but, you know, essentially from a map control perspective, it can be very, very frustrating. Again, in and out. Well, I want to be coach. You might need to work on those linguistical skills to deliver a motivational message, but it doesn't really matter. Box in the bush. Double clone running at you. Who is it? Is it the real one? Hopefully they realize it's not the real one, but we're going to keep doing that. Explode. Explode. Ah, he stunned the clone. Ah, there we go. Unlucky. Well played, but you're running away. Ah, someone else is in the bush. Quickly, reposition. Kaiser's on me. Help. Ambush. Good. Team helps. Nice flash hook from the Blitzcranker. Very good. Very good. See, support Blitzcranks have much more of a, you know, they're playing Blitzcrank how Blitzcrank is meant to be played. I know you jungle homies got carried away from a video, but please, you know, tanky, CC, presence, disruption, silencing, mega mana moon shields if you want, maybe a chem tank plus a Nash's if you want to hit a bit harder, but do what Blitzcrank needs to do. Don't run around with like Gale Force and Predator. I mean, there are better champions. Might as well play Shaco if that's what you want to do. That's saying something. Do we want to give the red away? I think in this case we can. Slap a box down. We have the timer on the Raptors, obviously. There we go. Nice damage. We're now 5 points W, obviously 4 points into the E. The fear and the damage, quite substantial. Nice little tick every single time. Trapping with a... No. Support. Silence. Hook. Doomed. Silence. Hook. Doomed. The trappings... I mean, look... Well then, as I said, Kai'Sa is strong, but we are still squishy. ISO Q there does a lot of damage, and you can still die. Nice deceive though, nice ult. In the end, doesn't matter. We do burn a flash, we do burn an ultimate, I'll take that. It is a 1,000 gold shutdown though, so you do have to be kind of cautious if you're like stacking super amounts of Mejais and there's a hyperfit carry in the enemy team. We're going to flash that Echo ult there because that was buffed, that AP ratio was buffed. We looked at that in a gameplay video on this channel. This is nice. Regular game, but it looks like that Shaco death there, overcommitting to try and assassinate her after the Lulu's going to cost him dearly because he's dead now. Gives a 1,000 gold shutdown to the Kaiser, who's going to show up again, running out of base right now. Almost PD completed. She went for that collective first as well. That's a huge potential throw. Need you guys to be very restrained when it comes to these moments. If you've got a lot of cash in pocket, you've just had a hugely great sequence. We got to pick, cool, what can I do now before the next objective? What can I do now before we need to group and do something else without going too ham? That's always what you get. It's tough. Even the best games being played by the best junglers, will overcommit and die once or twice, just getting a little bit greedy, but you can throw games here. Now, the problem is, exactly, you see this. Like, I'm just talking about things. That's the thing. When your focus is on the game, this needs to be the focus of your game. Like, oh, guys, I'm showing bot lane, chasing a Jace. Like, just gonna rinse this with a Virkayu, you know? Olaf's just gonna flash in and try and kill everybody. They're able to snack the bounty, though. We're gonna go to the back of the pitch here. Nice silence. We'll be able to get a kill there on the Kai'Sa. Over the wall onto the Lulu, make sure she dies. Fade away to Shiv. Jace is now using this Baron to split push. These are classically low elo jungle throws. You don't normally see this in high elo, but this is actually very good. I am objective obsessive to a degree that's probably unhealthy. So I'm not very frequently on the opposite side of an objective, and typically my problem is I don't give up what I should. And I don't always tell you guys to do that, but I like objectives, man. Objective control is my thing. I just want to make sure I get the dragons. But yeah, don't chase a guy in the bottom lane when there's a Baron up. But you see how easy it is to get distracted. Following yourself out, we're going to kill this. Oh, wait. Of course. Kai'Sa's up. I gave her 1,000 gold shutdown, and she's going to be going for the Baron. Huge throw, actually. Very, very big throw. Now, essentially, what we have to do is kind of chill a little bit and wait for this Baron to run out. The Kai'Sa's really starting to dish some damage. We have the cannon all in. We have the Echo and the Dragon. We might have to give this one up. So in this case, if you want to win the game, definitely give this one up. You cannot fight it. There's a dead Olaf, and he's doing a lot of damage, and he's fed, but our death and our chasing of the Jace on the bottom lane has definitely led to a compromised game state. This skin's so good, though. It's a good skin. It's creepy. One of the best splash shots in the game, actually. Really is one of the best splash shots in the game. And I think everyone agrees on that one. Voldemort, SHACO, creepy. Very much so. Darkstar, I like looking at Darkstar. You know, does have some good skins, actually. From the splash shot department as well. Good for thumbnails. Now, Baron is still active. How much duration do we have left at this point? Just over halfway. Yeah, chill, ward, box it up, look for a pick. That's all you really can do. Empowered recall, losing control of a jungle a little bit. We're only up 1.5k now. So you don't overcommit here either, because they're resetting. They'll be showing up here in the mid lane. So if you're going to make a pick, spotted. Unlucky. I'm very excited for the Chem Tank Empowered Plants, though. That is something I'm very, very excited for. All right. Patient game. This is so crucial, because I think a lot of times we talk about like the Elise game, super high paced, right? No patience, just in, push, advantage. This game is much more reserved. This game is much... I queued and there was a control ward, and then she queued me and that hurt. But yeah, it's a much more reserved game. You've got to be smart about your entry points, you've got to be smart about your box placements, and when they respect it, that's what becomes difficult, you know, for SHACO. When you're not a split pusher, for example, this is where you lose a bit of macro power, which is why that AD build's so good in low elo, because, you know, you really can just threaten with a lot of split push pressure. Here, we're just looking to zone and control the map and try to get some damage on some champions, you know? This is fine. This is fine. A little boring, but it's fine. I like watching restrained gameplay after having not restrained gameplay. Okay, so Kai'Sa's going to try and kill the SHACO here. And we get stunned by the cannon. We're able to just do enough. But really, you see the focus is on the SHACO. Kill the SHACO, which means we can actually play the game, because he's contorting the map around the possibility of him just eating into us, placing weird boxes, and making it so we can't move around the map. So the Kai'Sa says, I'm going to assassinate him. And she grew impatient, ults in and dies. That's absolutely crucial. Bad pathing here, definitely. Bad shutdown here, gives up a Baron, but the Kai'Sa gets so impatient. And that's essentially it. Let the enemy tilt onto you. Force the enemy to grow impatient so that they feel like they have to do something to win the game. And in solo queue, it's absolutely huge. And a lot of games at high elo even are lost because people get impatient. All right, we have here SHACO on the back line. We want to make sure we don't get stuck in a Echo Ultimate or Echo W. We're using our clone there for a bit of misdirection and box zoning, which is great. Our Deceive is up again. But you see, we're not running into it. We're not just running face first into the team here. Ooh, you see, this is where people kind of say, well, like, what do I do? You just wait and relax, my friends. You wait and relax. Right, we're going to clear the blue out. Going to look for another kill here as well. Nothing's going to show up. Again, big restraint. There's a Baron spawning very, very soon. We have here in pocket 1242. Jace is splitting on the bot lane. Silas is going on the top lane. We now are going in for the Blighting Jewel for some magic penetration, because obviously that's huge. Even for squishies. Really do like the penetration aspect. Good old-fashioned void stuff. He goes very similar build every game. It's a pretty standard, you know, Leandry's Demonics, Void. Usually by then you've finished. Patient. I'm admiring the discipline of all of the red team. Aren't you? Like, it's tense. If you're in this game, this is a tense game. Okay, so the box placement there, absolutely huge. Let's just start that again. See, we've advanced placed some boxes. We're using alt here to chunk and check, right? Bait out some W's, because remember, you can control this. So that's good. We'll absorb some of that chunk damage. W is now on cooldown. We do not have W evolve on that Kai'Sa. That's a high cooldown spell. The fear onto the Lulu is absolutely crucial. We go in there, we're able to kill that Lulu. The other box is going to fear the Kai'Sa, who's now dead again. She should not be frontlining, but again, impatient. Patient boxes, advanced box placement, using the ult clone for misdirection, just netted them 2 kills. Huge. And when it's AP, remember that fear is, you know, when you max these things, the fear is stretched out. You got the slows as well. People should not be escaping. Well, that's how you kill. We're just gonna kill him very casually, very easily, and then we're gonna go back over the wall and smite the good old Baron ourselves. Very well played. Very well played. 11-1-11. Baron secure. We can shove it down into the inhib here. And we fall back into the jungle. There's a dragon. I think we should make sure we get that, which we do. Don't think we need to drag this on too much because we've had a very patient game. I tried to fill it up as best I could, but I think what you can learn from that is that. I hope you learn that. I hope you can see very strong consequences for those players who don't just relax. And they're gonna kill that, and he's gonna try and do this. That shield glitch is really annoying, honestly. Oh, he does die, but here we go. This is classic. By the way, guys, your base. A little bit of an anticlimactic mid-game, late game there, but we did instigate a bit of a throw, so I think it was very crucial that we did slow the hell down and make sure that we just got the right box placement at the right time with the right misdirect of our enhanced mega clone. And now we can hit the Nexus, and that should be GG's. We're finishing off with 22 Dark Harvest stacks. Our Leandry's did 3,500 bonus damage. The Demonics did 1,200 bonus damage. And I wish they would say that for Void stuff, but they do not. So, a little bit of a slower paced game compared to the Elise, but hopefully a lot can be learned from a patience perspective, a map control perspective. Definitely more my style in terms of, you know, if I was to play this champion, or were to play this champion, that's the style I would personally use rather than straight up Assassino. But hopefully you enjoyed and learned something. Match history, link down below. Zoda GG guys, link down below. Coaching is available on Patreon, link down below. Head to the main channel for all the juicy edited goodness and more coaching content. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial, which now we know will be tomorrow.